Hello, everybody. Welcome to the PIPCAST 3000, a bi-weekly podcast where we talk about gaming news and Fallout and Skyrim and maybe other Bethesda things, something along those lines. I'm Caedo Genesis. This is my co-host, Bad Company Sarge.
Hello there.
This episode, our subject is going to be who should have been a companion. We could be an all-inclusive thing. We could do Fallout and the Elder Scrolls if we wanted to.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
I think we might, because I don't know how far we can get into the Fallout related stuff.
Oh, I can just name every Fallout NPC.
You could.
That'll be fine.
We could go alphabetical. Just go into the wiki and look at the NPCs list. I'm not gonna do that. But first we have the news and the comment of the cast type of stuff, and one of the comments of the cast from the last episode. Also, shout out to those who are like being really informative about the grading system in your countries. Thank you.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. I had an IRL chat with friends about that.
Yeah. So I want to make mention of that, but unfortunately those were very long and verbose, and we're not including those as comments of the cast, but I wanted to give you a little shout out. The one we chose is from Sven, and Sarge, would you like to take that one? Because this one's directed at you.
I think it's about time for Sarge to start The Gamer Warrior Build Challenge run for Skyrim. That sounds horrible. So that would be a warrior build using light armor with no crafting.
And a heavy shield.
And a heavy shield, oh god, yeah.
And
only not improving any items, picking up just like a handful of good or half good uniques, which actually don't scale all that well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that would not go well.
I do agree that it would probably be pretty great, but I also know that you're doing a lot of Skyrim stuff all the time.
Constantly. There's 4 days of Skyrim a week on my channel.
Yeah. People can't get enough of Skyrim. It's true. But we'll see how tired of Skyrim you are by the time you're done. Yeah, thank you for the comment, Sven. On to the news type things. Most of it's pretty interesting stuff.
Some of it's really boring.
Some of it's pretty boring. But try to keep it a little interesting by, seeing what our pal Mick Gordon, Doom composer, former Doom composer, is up to. He has done the soundtrack, as far as I know, just as a whole, for Atomic Heart, which is a first-person RPG shooter type of thing. Looks really cool. It's got BioShocky vibes, Wolfenstein vibes. I don't know what else to say about it. It just looks really cool. But it turns out Mick Gordon is donating his fee that he costs for composing for these developers, Mundfish, to the humanitarian aid for the Ukraine during the harsh times that are happening over there right now, which is cool.
There's some interesting stuff about the fact that Mundfish, the company making Atomic Heart, is a Russian studio, so there's kind of a walking the line where the studio hasn't really been able to issue a stance or anything. Mm-hmm. So there's a bit of speculation there, but it's all just speculation. And he says the studio is decent, and it's just the government that's obviously attacking Ukraine.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Overall, I think that's a good story. And also, Atomic Heart, I am very interested in that game when it comes out. The more I've seen of it, the more I want to play it. And that's generally what we want when you start seeing promotional content or promotional trailers of a game. If it's the more you see, the more you want to play. I don't know, maybe I'm just describing hype.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I've already planned that it's going to be my stream next week. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. And I think this is going to be a Game Pass game, isn't it?
Yep, that's a large part of the reason why.
Yep. Yep. Heck yeah, dude. Game Pass all the way.
Hey Caedo, you know what else is on Game Pass?
Yeah. What is what? Huh?
There's a lovely little indie game called Chained Echoes, which you really should play. And I'm going to tell you to play on the podcast as well, so you can't just ignore the private messages I sent to you telling you to play the game. This is accountability. Play Chained Echoes, it's really good.
What is Chained Echoes, Sarge? What is this? I don't think I've ever heard of it.
It's
I don't
like
think
an
you've ever told me
indie
about it.
JRPG thing. It's made by one dude, but it's great. It took like 7 or 8 years to make, but it feels like a AAA version of an old school JRPG. That's the best way to describe it. It's so good. It's really good.
You know, I was more asking for people listening that maybe didn't catch.
Yeah,
the,
it's so good.
It's really trying to get me to play.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the reminder, Sarge. It's in my stack of ridiculous amount of games that I should play.
It's only like a gig. You could download it like right now.
Yeah, the size of the game is not the problem, Sarge. I've played RPGs before.
Oh, come on. It's only like 20 or 30 hours to beat the game if you ignore all the side stuff.
And here I am trying to like do all the side stuff in a game that I've been playing for free weekend. Not gonna spoil that though. We're gonna talk about that later. But something that can be spoiled is something related to VR. I know only a fraction of the people listening are interested in VR, but this may interest you a bit more. There's an upcoming VR headset that is geared towards portability and being a personal device. One of the big problems with VR headsets is their bulk. If you have something large like that on your face for an extended period of time, and like I don't know about you, Sarge, but I have pretty long gaming sessions on, a lot of the first-person RPGs I like to play. Mm-hmm. This portable-ish VR headset by Big Screen Beyond is challenging that idea, where they're kind of working towards making not just a portable headset, but a portable personal headset that is much smaller form factor wise, and like it's the size of in the video that's linked here, it's described as like looking like goggles or like swim goggles or snowboarding goggles, because it's pretty close to that size. Obviously lighter weight, yeah. But also the inside padding of the headset is made to order. You send a face scan so they can then form padding to your face, basically. Mm-hmm. Which makes it a nice personal unit for VR experiences. But also something that I noticed was, even though this is like half to a third of the size of other headsets, this is actually not as much as I kind of thought it was going to be. It's still a VR headset, so it's fairly expensive, but I was expecting it to be more than $999. Or
how much were you expecting it to be?
$1,500 or more.
Okay. Well, if you're English or European, then it's almost that price, because we get big time screwed in the exchange rate. Because it's £1,149 for British people, when $999 is equal to £830. So that's like over 300 quid extra just tacked on. And for the Europeans, anyone using euros, £999 gets boosted up to €1,369 when it's about €930 is the actual exchange rate.
Yeah, so, that's the unfortunate part.
Yeah, 300 to 400 extra if you're not American, essentially, seems to be the rule. Plus, you need to buy, like, controller stuff, and you need to buy your Steam VR base stations and Valve Index controllers. So the actual price is going to be quite a bit more. Because this is literally just a headset. All you get to do is look through it.
Oh, it's just okay, yeah, never mind. I missed that part the first time.
So yeah, it's actually really pricey.
Yep, never mind. I thought that was an all-in-one price, but I
Nope.
guess I was wrong. There's a reason that they said it that way, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, well, even so, I think this headset is worth keeping an eye on because, or eyes in, haha, because it solves one of the bigger problems of VR headsets, which is the bulk of the hardware.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's interesting. It's nice to see it progress, but
Mhm.
the price point is still like a big issue.
Yeah,
Like VR is just not accessible to most people for how niche of a thing it is.
I'd like it to be more widely available, but not at that price.
Yeah. Nobody wants to
Which
drop full
is-
figures on a thing which they might not enjoy or might make them feel sick or whatever.
Yeah, there's that too. Something else might make you feel sick is Dead Island 2,
Oh,
which not only got a release date, but got a shortened release window after they went gold a little while ago. So Dead Island 2 was, I guess, formerly one of Techland's kind of in limbo IPs after they moved on to Dying Light. But now it was supposed to be released. Dead Island 2 was supposed to be released on April 28th. Now it's being released a week earlier, April 21st. As far as I know, this is also going to involve co-op. I think it'd be silly if it didn't. But it's another zombie game that, you know, has been one of those development hell types of titles that's finally coming this year,
yeah.
which is crazy. So I'm, you know, hoping to give that one a try. I'd like to know, those of you who are listening, are you tired of zombie games yet?
Kind of.
Sarge's answer is kind of.
I mean, I'm looking forward to Redfall, which is like a vampire game technically.
Mhm.
And that's about as close as I get within that whole genre.
Yeah.
And that's just because I think it will be a decent game in general. But
Yeah. Who knows? Dead Island 2 might surprise us. Or it might just be, you know, a soulless gore fest.
yeah,
We'll see.
I'm sure regardless, it took a lot of work to make.
Mm-hmm. A lot of time.
Yeah. And if you want to see just how long and how difficult it is to make games, well, good for you, because there's 22 hours worth of footage all about that.
Yeah.
Double Fine have released Psych Odyssey, a huge documentary series which showcases the making of Psychonauts 2. And it's massive. There's a playlist with 34 videos. There's technically 32 episodes and then like a trailer and a movie thrown in there of some kind. I've clearly not watched it all because, God, that's a lot of time. But if you're interested in, like, just seeing the behind the scenes of video game development, this is probably like the most expansive look we've ever really had.
Yeah, outside of what's the documentary channel? No Clip?
Yeah, No Clip does documentaries, but they're like a couple of hours worth of stuff.
They're a couple hours worth. They're not as extensive as
Yeah.
what this is.
This
For
is,
sure.
hey, we're going to bring you along from the moment we like conceptualize the game to the moment it's out.
Yep.
It's crazy amount of stuff.
I just wish I was more of a Psychonauts fan.
Yeah.
Or more interested in it. I'm a bit of a snooty pants about the art style. It's just not really my thing.
Oh, you're a scrub. I get it.
I'm a scrub.
You just can't get good at the game. Oh man, I see. I see.
I'm a scrub a dub dub.
Yep.
There's no segue to the next.
You know what other game has an art style which sucks? What game is it, Caedo? You've got to say it so that you get all the hate rather than me.
Okay. Well, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom obviously is gonna suck.
Yeah.
Like,
Garbage
we all
game,
know.
0 out of 10.
Like, how many Nintendo games have come out and actually been good?
Oh, like, half of one?
Yeah, something along those lines. Anyway, I thought this was pretty entertaining. That the GameStop exclusive pre-order bonus for ordering Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is a wooden plaque. It's just a hunk of wood with some Hylian on it, I'm guessing, and some images. But you have no idea what it says. I just think it's really funny. It's been getting a lot of jokes about it on the internet. I wouldn't say hate exactly, because it is a pre-order bonus. I think it's kind of dumb. I mean, it's a pre-order thing that you just get for free for pre-ordering the game. So cool,
Apparently a
I guess.
GameStop exclusive.
GameStop exclusive, yes.
Yeah. They'll give you a piece of wood.
Yep.
You can use it to hit things with, or cut things on.
There's plenty of comments that are left about it. Yes, I love my Zelda cutting board. Okay, I can't be the only one somewhat underwhelmed by all the pre-order special exclusive merch, right? Yeah. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah,
That's all this was. Yeah. Something else that more active fans have been doing of games, if we're hopping back over to Fallout, is I stumbled across a fan-made Sugar Bombs ad. I think this was animated with Maya.
It's using Blender.
Blender, DaVinci Resolve, VF. Okay, well, never mind.
Caedo, it literally says made with Blender in the title and
had
3D
to click on it
animation
again.
using Blender.
I associated it with Maya. I got it from somewhere else, I guess.
You genuinely made me work out in my head, like, are Blender and Maya the same thing? What's going on here?
No, I am happily incorrect and now corrected. Thank you, Sarge. So from the top, 3D animated using Blender, color graded in DaVinci Resolve, edited in Adobe Premiere, VFX in Adobe After Effects, and sound edited in Adobe Audition.
Yes.
It's 41 seconds of what feels like pre-war Fallout, and what you would see on television. Like, it just looks like a Sugar Bombs ad. So it shows a bomb being dropped out of a plane and then turning into a little corn puff and then exploding in a bowl of milk. It's freaking cool.
Yeah.
It's by someone named Beth Jing. I should have said that earlier. Their channel only has 40 subscribers, so I think you all should go subscribe and tell them how awesome this Sugar Bombs commercial is. They also did one for
Coca-Cola Quantum, and they now have 41 subscribers.
Yes, they do. Maybe 42.
I mean, it's a very cool little ad. And one like little niche thing I really like, which is kind of very YouTube meta moment, is that it's a short video which is in the correct aspect ratio, not as if it's being played on a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Which, oh boy,
Yeah.
I enjoy the nice rectangle shape of the frame.
Wait a minute, Sarge. You mean to tell me you don't like vertical video?
I hate them. I hate YouTube Shorts so much. Oh, I'm real close to making a video about how much I hate them. But it's
Me too.
great to see. Yeah, nice
Let's
short
collab
form
on it. Let's
content
collab on
as
our
well.
equal hatred about YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, this is a short video, which is very, very good, and just really cool. It's a nice little fan project. This is good as well.
Yeah.
I think I've got a softer spot for like small little fan projects, rather than, hey, we're modding the entirety of the game into another game. That stuff never excites me. But just being like, oh, I made like a minute-long video set in the Fallout world that looks realistic. That I'm like, yeah, this is really awesome. Like, it's clearly just someone who was like, I want to do this. This is fun. I like this whole IP and this whole series and stuff. Let's do a fun thing. It's to, like, test my skills or whatever. give me some extra experience or stuff like that. And it's just enjoyable. There's something pure about it, you know?
Yeah. And seeing it always irks me a little bit when I see, high effort put into something like fan related and then not getting the attention I think it deserves. So I really do hope that this person continues making I mean just video game based stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be Fallout or anything like that, but like these kinds of things are really cool to see, and are probably equally useful as putting in a
I need to have some idea of what you're trying to say.
the collection of work that you have to show to people to tell you can do
Portfolio.
it. Thank you. I'm going to be doing so much editing. It's just me stumbling over my own brain and then slipping and falling because it's extra gooey and lumpy. What's the last thing? It's a thing that you love very much. Isn't that right?
Well, it's not a thing that I love so much. It's a game. Total War Warhammer 3 has DLC coming out in April. Which is quite a long wait. I'm actually going to Google when the last proper DLC came out. It was August of last year. So it's been, it's 8 months between DLCs, which is a very long time for this sort of game, because this game gets this series gets a lot of DLC, and we were expecting some like towards the end of the year, or at the start of this year, and now it's like almost halfway through the year. And I'm also wondering if this is going to end up clashing with Starfield.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Starfield's going to be coming out a little later, because it's supposed to be after Redfall, which is May 2nd release. So...
But is it coming out this year, Sarge?
Caedo, we don't say things like that here. It is coming out this year. We're willing to wait. We're willing to wait a little bit. It should be in the first half of this year as well.
It should be.
So, yeah. It's all going to be fine. And I don't have much Warhammer 3 DLC to play through while waiting for it, which is annoying. Because what's going to happen, because there's 2 more DLCs after this, what's probably going to happen is this DLC will launch before Starfield. I'll get to play this. And then the other DLCs will launch after Starfield. I just won't play them, because Starfield. Which is like a very minor issue to have. But it's just annoying that things aren't lining up.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's taken a lot longer for them to make this DLC than they thought, and it really shows that they are trying to make sure things work out properly, rather than just doing the, we'll drop it in and patch it later and see what happens.
Yeah.
They are definitely taking their time and trying to make this something good.
Yeah.
And the DLC is probably Chaos Dwarves. Yeah.
Yeah, Chaos Dwarves. I don't know much about them, but I think dwarves are cool, so.
Yeah. And these ones are Chaos ones.
Yeah.
We've already got regular dwarves. Oh, something else as well, which I've got a link. There's a new trailer for Immortal Empires, and it is so good. I'm actually gonna get Caedo right now to watch it, because I think it does such a good encapsulation of like the Warhammer world. So I'm gonna send it to Caedo, and I'm gonna post it in the outline. And Caedo, would you like to do a live reaction to it? Explain what's going on and whatnot?
Man, I'm so bad at words today, but I guess I will.
Yeah, this is kind of why I want you to do it as well.
Sega, CA, and Total War. Warhammer, licensed. Okay. Courtyard with some armies. He's got the Sigmar cloak.
Yep.
Who is this?
This is Carl Franz, who's talking about how the borders are beset by evil.
Oh. There's gonna be demons.
There are demons. There's
I see
cafe.
something on fire.
Yeah, there's a lot of things on fire.
Crashing aircrafts.
There's a giant battle going
giant
on.
Siege spiders.
Yep.
I don't like that. Oh, hey, it's a dwarf.
Yeah.
This dude's got crazy feathers in his helmet.
Yeah. And elves and dwarves fighting.
Oh, of course. Yep. Are they gonna fight?
Yep. The elf just said this is not the time for short-sightedness. The dwarves are very upset about that. And now all the good guys are fighting.
Don't call me short. Oh.
This is how half the fights in Warhammer start out.
I wonder if Eddie was part of the planning team for this.
Oh, it's Gotrek and Felix fighting Scarbrand. That's so cool.
I wish I could geek out as hard as you are.
Dude, pretty much every shot of this trailer shows like one of the legendary lords who's like a super significant character in the Warhammer world.
Mm-hmm.
Even like some of the ones where they're not in the foreground, they're in the background. There's Carl Franz just slamming his hammer and being like, enough!
Yeah, Sigma!
Yeah, bringing everyone together to do a big fight. You see an elf and a dwarf fighting that's gone Brindle, the white dwarf fighting with Tyrion, the prince of Ultron. Oh, it's so cool, Caedo! Look at all these combinations. Look at that!
I don't know.
Just look, it
looks really
awesome.
awesome.
It is so cinematic, and all that cannons and artillery blasting up the Skaven, who are giant rat men, and huge armies.
Exploding.
Oh, big old demons.
Is that a bear?
That is a bear. There's war bears. That's a thing. And that's Deathclaw.
Deathclaw?
Deathclaw. The griffin, hippogriff, whatever it is, but Carl Franz
That's wrong.
rides.
That's incorrect. That's not a Deathclaw then.
That's its name. Its name is Deathclaw.
No, it's a griffin.
It is a griffin, but it's a griffin called Deathclaw.
It's not called Deathclaw, it's called griffin.
No, it's called Deathclaw, and it's actually...
I think I understand what a mythological creature of that nature looks like, Sarge, and it's not a Deathclaw.
No, it's called Deathclaw. You know how,
It's
like,
not,
some
though.
dogs are called that? Even though they're dogs. And there's, at the end of the trailer, there's a little teaser for Chaos Stores as well. It is...
Oh, okay.
It is such a cool trailer. It is so cinematic. Even if you're,
Nice.
like, not familiar with the Warhammer world, it's still just, like, epic shots of battles. And if you know the Warhammer world, in, like, almost every single shot, there's just this legendary character that you can watch. And, seeing Gotrek and Felix thrown in there as well is so nice, because they're, like, technically in the game, but they're not lords you pick at the start or anything, and, it's such a good trailer. I've watched it about 20 times already.
That's great. Thank you for helping me narrate it, because I didn't fully understand what was happening, because there's a lot of characters on screen.
There's so many characters. And sometimes there's just giant, like, armies filling the entire screen. It's beautiful. 'Cause all of that is stuff you pretty much do in the game as well, which is great.
Yeah, I can definitely appreciate when trailers actually do that, when they show what the heck their game is about instead of showing doesn't look like what what the trailer is showing. You know what I'm trying to say.
To be fair, that's not graphically how the game looks. Like,
No,
it's a tactical style game.
But as a concept, like, that's
Yeah.
what happens in the game.
You do have diplomacy to team up with people, and you do have giant armies that go fighting, which is basically the two things that were shown in the trailer.
Yeah.
It didn't show any building of stuff, but it did show settlements, and settlements being attacked, which is another thing that happens.
Like, I may throw some shade Blizzard's way, but I'm sure they can handle it at this point. That, like, a lot of the things that they show in their trailers, you're not really partaking in.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a risk by saying that. It's more of a, you're watching the story unfold and you're just, kind of there. I think I guess ESO kind of has that
I was
vibe
thinking
a
of
little bit
ESO
too.
as well.
Yeah.
How their trailers show, like, it's a group of you fighting together doing these combination moves and stuff against this one warrior, when in reality you just hit all the numbers on your keyboard to spam all your attacks.
Yep. And it does kind of build hype, but it's nicer to see, like, what is happening in the game happening on screen too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a mild gripe on how different companies decide to market their stuff, but
yeah. I think cinematic trailers are cool as long as you don't only have cinematic trailers.
oh yeah.
And Total War Warhammer has done a good job of having both cinematic trailers and trailers that show actual gameplay and people like playing the game and stuff, which I very much appreciate. Even though I already know what the game looks like and I've bought it and I'm going to buy all the stuff, so I don't really need the trailer, it's just cool.
I like how after you linked that to me, I got recommended Lore Master of Sotek.
Yep. He's one of the Total War creators.
He cried.
Oh.
Watching one of the trailers, I don't know which one.
Probably this one. It's a real good one.
Yeah.
Such a good
which is great. I love seeing that for fans of an IP too. That they get to, to get the full enjoyment experience. Just nice. Yeah. And then hopefully the game's good too.
Total Warhammer 3 is good. A lot of people complain about Immortal Empires not instantly being in the game, but overall it's really good. And Immortal Empires is now like out for everyone, which is what the trailer's all about. Which just means you have the entire Warhammer world basically to just go through and conquer, which is so cool.
Yeah, I remember you talking that one up too, where it's just, the entire world, like including all of the previous campaign maps or something like that, right?
It includes the full map for Total War Warhammer 1 and Total War Warhammer 2, plus Total War Warhammer 3. So it's essentially 3 games mixed into one.
That's awesome.
And it meant the other day I was able to have the vampires take over Altdorf and kill Karl Franz. Yeah.
I only know him. Part of those words.
Yep. I took over the capital of the lands of the Empire, which is the main lands of men.
Oh.
With my vampires. And I was
nice
like,
job.
yeah, everyone's going to be a vampire now.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's more fun anyway.
Yeah. And currently, I'll talk about it at the end. I'll just ignore it at the end. I'll talk about it now. And right now I'm collecting dragons. Because there's a character who's all about dragons. Who's an elf. And I'm just like, yeah, let's go get some dragons. That's what I'm doing.
Does this character have dragon companions?
Kind of. Sure.
You know what else has companions, Sarge?
No, I don't. You'll have to explain it to me.
The games that we play a lot and have made kind of our living, sort of. Fallout and the Elder Scrolls and stuff.
Yeah,
and things.
Bethesda games, basically.
Yeah. What NPC from any Bethesda game would make a great companion?
The first one that's popped into my mind is High Rise from Fallout 4.
I don't remember who that is.
Okay. That's not a great sign. But in Fallout 4, when you side with the Railroad, there's the quest to get a synth to Ticonderoga Safe House, is it? I think it's that one. But yeah, there's a quest to get a synth to safety, and High Rise accompanies you for that quest, helps you out. He's just pretty cool. He's got, I believe, like a laser pistol shotgun, or a laser shotgun, something like that, as his default weapon, which is just badass. He's just pretty cool as well. Like, he works for a railroad, but he's got kind of a carefree sort of attitude, and is like, damn, you're pretty cool, dude, and all that stuff. I just think High Rise is kind of cool, and he's got a nice weapon, and it would have been nice to see more of him, because you accompany him for that one mission, and then he dies. He's just killed off screen. I feel really bad for him. It's a real shame.
Dang.
Yeah. He was just really a character who I would have liked to see more of, because I find him more interesting than a lot of the actual Railroad members. Like, Deacon is kind of interesting. That's cool. And then I don't really care about any of the other Railroad members. But High Rise, I was like, oh, okay, you seem quite positive, and like you're doing a good thing and trying to live your best life and all that kind of stuff, but you're also kind of badass, running around in like the greaser jacket and jeans, blasting things. I'm like, yeah, I could have liked having you as a companion. He had a similar energy to like the Atom Cats, but without so much of a gimmick.
Yeah, because the Atom Cats are definitely gimmicky.
Oh yes, yeah. High Rise is the one that instantly popped in my brain.
Despite gimmicky, though, I would want them to be written out more and be potential companions, because I like gimmicky people.
Oh dear. Okay.
In Fallout. Because
I mean, that's fine.
Fallout is kind of where it works the best anyway.
Yeah. You know, on that note as well, I would have loved it if we could have had like an unarmed power armor character. And seeing as the Atom Cats had the unarmed bobblehead there.
Yeah.
And they're like in power armor, that'd be the perfect fit for it.
Yeah.
Just make one of them a punchy power dude.
I haven't played Fallout 4 in so long, but if that is where the unarmed bobblehead is, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, now I have to double check it.
I'm sorry, Sarge.
Unarmed bobblehead. Oh, what? Oh, this is terrible. There's like 4 guides that show up and they're not yours.
That's rude.
Yeah. How dare they? It is in the Atom Cat's garage, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cool. It's on,
I wonder if I didn't list them or something, or like it's not in the description or something. I'd have to check back anyway.
I'm guessing it's because you did like an all bobbleheads guide.
Yeah, I did.
Rather than an individual one for every single one, where you spend
Yeah,
like
'cause that's
5
a
minutes
waste
showing
of
just
time.
one thing. Yeah.
It's inefficient.
Yep, and it gets views. Why have one video that can get like 100,000 good views when you can have 10 videos which each get 50,000 bad views?
In Fallout 4's case, it's 20.
Oh yeah.
I hate it. Anyway, speaking of gimmicky, what about Pacer and or the King from Fallout New Vegas?
You know, Pacer's kind of a... Just think of any word that I wouldn't be allowed to say here.
Problem child?
Sure. Sure, we'll go with problem child. So I wouldn't particularly want to have him with me, but I also do like the idea of there being plenty of companions who I'm like, I don't like this person, because they can fit in for good, like, role-playing style reasons.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, they were written just well enough to be unlikable, and if it does invoke that kind of unlikable with some sort of redeeming quality that you can find out here, like,
yeah,
you have to make sure that there's a balance of that, because there's a game I've been playing a lot recently and I've been reminded that yeah, you can write just strictly unlikable characters and it makes it very hard to be invested if that's all they are. So Pacer has a little bit of issue with you and interacting with you when you're like doing the guard duty at the Silver Rush. Also just working with the king or the kings.
yeah.
And one of the leadership trying to work with the NCR and Pacer being like, no, the NCR is a bunch of goofballs, we want to keep control Freeside, whatever. If reasons were added beyond that, like keep Freeside, free of NCR control or something along those lines, something very altruistic, I guess is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word.
Not really.
What's the right
If anything,
word, Sarge?
I mean, if anything, it feels quite tribalistic.
Anarchistic?
Anarchistic? I mean, kind of, but not really, because there's still people in charge, like... I mean, this isn't sounding like a positive thing from where I sit.
Okay. If Freeside belonged to, quote-unquote, the people, including the followers of the apocalypse, and it kind of operated as its own little kind of system that that already is, without NCR control, I don't know. I think that could turn into something actually decent.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, with extra writing effort. I'm not talented at writing branching stories like Obsidian is, so I don't know. I just think that could make Pacer a more interesting character companion, if he were fighting for, being kind of gruff on the outside, but fighting for the people of Freeside to keep them free, and only giving water to, I don't know, the people of Freeside, and being like, no, screw you, NCR, get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I'd be okay with it if it presented you with kind of like the choice of if you want to tell him he's doing the right thing and this is fine, or if his exclusionary attitude is bad and tears down the community in its own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All of that just sounded bad from my perspective, to be honest. Not bad as in, all that would be bad for the game, but like, oh, this is still a very bad person.
Hey, here's something though too. Like, ultimately having a gruff exterior, meaning well for Freeside, but it all going bad. That's sometimes a fun story too.
Yep.
You add some tragedy and sadness to your character's backstory, and suddenly they're more interesting. So it could be that. He could. You could take his offhanded comment about Gloria Van Graff, be like, tell the boss lady I said hi, because they had a little thing, maybe at some point. But maybe that could be expanded upon. And maybe if you wipe out the Van Graffs, because there's like a 50-50 chance in game that you're going to do that, then maybe he could have some sort of reaction to that, like before or after, taking them out, or like just leave your party entirely if you kill off the Van Graffs. So you have this kind of a good and bad balance between Cass and Pacer as optional characters. Like you can only keep one and do their final mission.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really cool, actually. Yeah. So we just made Pacer interesting. Who else?
I kind of want to have Lucas Sims as follower.
Oh.
I was thinking about Fallout 3 and which NPCs in that I actually properly like and get on with. Lucas is the main one. I feel like he's more interesting than any of the actual companions in that game. And for those not aware, just from the name, Lucas Sims is the sheriff of Megaton, one of the first people you really meet out in the wasteland. He's like, do you want to disarm his bomb? I got a cowboy hat, yeehaw! That's my impression of him.
Yeah.
But he's the sheriff of the town. He's pretty cool. He's a good person. He sometimes gets shot a bunch needlessly. But oh man, I've clicked on the wiki article for him as well, and it's kind of throwing shade. There's a little bit about how he's like the sheriff of the town or whatever, and he's got the town militia and some robots under the command. But it says, however, Sims neglects training, and half of the defenders can't really shoot straight.
That doesn't sound like a reported fact. That just sounds like Fallout 3's weapon spread.
Yeah, there's technically this is coming out from a Megaton settler quote, which is Megaton needs a stronger defense force. Okay, there's Sims and Steel and the town militia, but half of us can't even aim straight. So this is like someone supposedly on the militia being like, I'm not good with it. But the way it's wrote in the wiki makes it sound worse, because it's just saying it like fact. And it says Sims neglects training, which isn't actually, proof anywhere. So it's being a bit harsh on the wiki.
Yeah, it's a little heavy-handed against Sims in general.
Yeah.
He is one of several introductory characters to the world of Fallout 3. Because he's the one of two. Him and Mr. Burke are the other ones that are, the influences of the bomb situation in Megaton. So that right off the bat is like a high stakes situation that you have to resolve, and it could be another, cool, good versus evil kind of companion situation where Mr. Burke should have been a companion, honestly, because he is also interesting. I see where you're coming from. Also, Fallout 3, it was before, I think it's before Bethesda started really trying to add romance into their RPGs, right? It was more just, spend a night with this character, that's it. I wonder if you not only help Lucas Sims, had him as a companion, but also say you were rolling a female character, he's he has a son, maybe we can assume that he is interested in female characters too.
I always just assuming everyone's bi.
Yeah,
I feel like that makes it easiest.
It's much more fair and easy to just use your headcanon to judge that. But that would be cool that it instead of giving you the shack that's on the left side of town, you just move into his house.
Yeah.
and then you could get access to the strength bobblehead without having to break in. Yeah. A reward, perhaps.
Ooh. I also like the idea of having something you need to do in order to get followers, rather than just running up to them, meeting them, and then they follow you.
Mm-hmm.
So for Lucas Sims, I feel like if you did have a quest that had you, like, help reinforce the defenses of Megaton, make sure it's safe so he can wander the world, that would be kind of like a cool little thing, I think.
You know, there's another sheriff character who things kind of worked out that way in Fallout 2.
Oh.
Yeah. Marcus is the sheriff of Broken Hills, and he won't join you until the situation in Broken Hills is resolved.
Oh. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like on that note as well, there's plenty of people who would want Marcus as a follower in New Vegas too.
Yes, please.
Anytime
I am
Marcus
one of
is
those
around,
people.
the old school fans are like, I want him with me, always.
Please.
Why is Marcus not always by my side?
I want Michael Dorn's sultry voice alongside me. And using really big minigun to melt anything nearby. And just being a smarty smart, not a dum dum super mutant.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, speaking of smarty smart super mutants,
Yeah.
Virgil.
Oh, okay.
Virgil seemed like a wasted NPC.
There was definitely more that could have been done with Virgil from Fallout 4, the one you meet in the glowing sea.
Yes. Sorry, I should have added context.
I know how bad I am with names, so I'm
There's a lot of people in the Fallout and Elder Scrolls games that we probably should add context. My mistake. Thank you, Sarge.
What do you envision for him as a follower?
So Virgil was the head of the FEV, like the mysterious like fifth section of the Institute. But that was shut down because they were, pursuing other things in the synth stuff after that point, trying to improve humanity by making monstrosities, I guess.
Yeah.
So Virgil, how did he, I can't remember how he actually ended up becoming a super mutant. Did he just inject himself with modified FEV just so he could survive the glowing sea and escape?
I feel like that was it, but I'm gonna check the wiki.
Okay. That's my assumption. I could be entirely wrong. So that's a good premise from the start. Also getting more context from him. The main story leads you to him so you can figure out how to work around either getting to or destroying the Institute or whatever. But also towards the end, you have the opportunity to provide him with a serum that will cure him, turn him back into a human, which would add some cool dynamics to it, because we already have a character that is like that in Fallout 4, where they shift from one form to another. But I think that would be cool that maybe it could branch out, and because there's an affinity system in Fallout 4 where you raise it with your companions and then you do their quest or whatever and you get a perk, a permanent perk from them. And I think that would be cool if there were two separate paths you could go with that, kind of like, how you do with, say, the dog brain thing in New Vegas. I think Lily's got something like that too, right? Does she? I can't remember.
I haven't spent much time with Lily.
It's the usage of the antipsychotic medication.
Yeah, that feels familiar. At New Vegas, I was like, is it a dog? Is it a robot? Is it a sniper? If it doesn't have yes to one of those three, I'm not interested.
Oh, okay. No kindly grandma mutants?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. Not okay. Dog, not robot, not sniper.
Well, at least we could talk about Rex, right? Because Rex had the cool multi-brain story thing where you could literally program him to have a specific way of fighting. Faithful Protector, Unshakable Tracker, and Blood of the Legion. plus 25 attack damage, plus 50% movement speed, and plus 10 damage threshold. So this is all combat based stuff.
Yeah.
At least we know now. But it was still cool. Setting up your character to, you know, take on the role that you want them to, more so. Or if their AI is kind of goofy, doing the thing that makes them survive longer. But yeah, I think Virgil from Fallout 4 would have been a cool extra companion, and would have been more interesting payoff than just, you know, leave me be after destroying the Institute.
I mean, that's not always what he does after destroying the Institute. He really doesn't like you after that.
Yeah, I know. That's more along the lines of what I was saying. Like,
yeah, and sometimes he turns hostile.
I would like him to be, I don't know, have more options than that. Like maybe if you take that one side of the Institute, you know, make enemies of everybody else, maybe you could somehow convince Virgil to come back. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
Because the Institute needs some work. I want to make it better, one character at a time. Also kill Dr. Lee. Please.
Oh. You mean the one character from the Institute who's willing to go against it? And is arguably the good person in the Institute.
She's she's so stupid.
I think Madison Lee should be a follower in every Fallout game.
I think
all of them, every single one, even the one she's not in. Someone should make a mod which makes Madison Lee a follower no matter what. Essential follower who always talks to you.
I mean, I know for a fact you're saying all of this just to make me salty.
Yeah.
Yeah, companions are like all essential in Fallout 4, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Because even in survival mode, like, if they go down and you just leave them for too long, like, they'll just leave.
Yeah.
They'll be like, screw you, man. Yeah.
And on the one hand, I really want that to change so companions can die. And on the other hand, companion AI is not good enough yet for that to always change.
It's really not.
Yeah, they will just walk into bullets and explosions at random.
Yeah, they sure will. I sure remember Dogmeat hitting all those lasers in Jamaica Plain all the time.
No. Dogmeat's a good boy, Caedo.
No,
all of the other followers do it.
He's a stupid boy.
No, he's not. He's a good boy.
He's so
You're a good boy,
stupid.
Good boy, Dogmeat. He's a good boy.
Okay,
yeah.
We're devolving pretty rapidly here. Who else? Victor would have been an interesting companion.
Victor?
The Securitron robot in New Vegas that dug you up.
Oh, yeah, okay. Completely forgot his name. Yeah, as like a house-affiliated follower as well.
Yeah.
Quite good. Because there is a Legion-affiliated follower in New Vegas, right?
A cut one? Yes, Ulysses.
Oh. Okay, there should also be a Legion-affiliated follower, because I was
there
like,
sure,
then you could have
Sarge.
a follower for each playthrough.
Yeah, that was unfortunately, due to time constraints, not able to happen.
Yeah.
That's my guess anyway.
I bet it wasn't time constraints. I bet they were like, man, the Legion sucks, let's not give them a follower. Let's not give them a follower because they're wrong, and can we please stop having people try and claim they're right?
Can I just say both?
Maybe.
Time constraints. We don't have enough time to fill out the Legion. They suck. Let's ignore Ulysses. Just make him a DLC character instead.
Mm-hmm.
Which did end up working out.
Yeah.
Still pretty good, but it's...
Oh man, if he was a follower, the amount he would talk.
Yeah, I think about that too a little bit though. I have a feeling they would have done something to reduce the amount of monologuing he does as a companion instead.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of out of his mind, obviously. When you do the Lonesome Road DLC. gets all philosophical in your earpiece all the time.
Yeah.
That's a robot thief, but like we already knew he was planned to be a companion, and you know, didn't make it to that point.
Yeah.
I think any of the DLC, speaking of New Vegas, like any of the DLC companions, I would have liked them to, quite a few of them, to be able to go into the Mojave.
Okay.
I think that would have been cool. Like Christine, for example. Yep. Like she has so much ties to the Brotherhood of Steel and Veronica that like you want that so bad, but they cut that off. I mean, they tied it off nicely. Dead Money is probably one of the best, you know, in my mind, well-rounded narratively, to be like, okay, I'm okay with this ending, kind of thing.
And obviously you would want to be followed by Follows Chalk all the time. No. So he can tell you not to kill something and then immediately kill it.
You're pushing all my buttons today, Sarge.
Yep. It's like, oh, let's go talk to Caesar. We better not kill him and speak to him. Bang, bang, bang. Let's speak to the NCR. Maybe they can help us. Bang, bang, bang.
No, I would just completely disarm him.
Oh, so you can run up and punch him instead, so he doesn't actually kill them.
Yeah.
Just turns them all hostile and then they kill you instead.
Here, I'd give him the golden boxing gloves. There we go.
Just knock everyone out constantly.
Yep.
No more fast traveling for Caedo.
Nope. Oh man. Yeah. So who's the man? I feel dumb now. The Sorrows lady.
Walking Cloud.
What? Waking Cloud.
Waking Cloud. Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was Walking Cloud.
Yeah.
They're close enough. Neither of them really makes sense. Clouds don't walk or wake.
Yeah. She was kind of cool too, but the problem, I think one of the main problems with Honest Hearts is that
it sucks.
Well, in a broad sense, yes. But locking down more so, like, I think that introducing 3 tribes at once and trying to make all their characters valuable kind of worked against it.
Yeah, they also didn't do much to make them look that distinct. Like, I feel like they should have gone with hugely different visuals for all of them.
Yeah.
Because you're introduced to them so kind of quickly to each other. It's just like, yeah, they're just like the tribals in Honest Hearts. Ta-da!
Yeah. You can tell when you hit your VATS button.
Yeah, but I want to actually be able to see someone. Especially as someone who plays as a sniper primarily. Who's too far away for VATS to work.
Okay, understandable.
I'm gonna pull a boon and accidentally kill all the friendlies.
But we should probably mention the most important of the characters in that whole DLC. Daniel. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say the
Joshua
survivor
Graham. Guy. Well, the man in the caves, yeah. Randall Clark. But he was long dead.
Oh, yeah. I want to dig up his skeleton and then just carry it with me everywhere.
Ah, yes.
That'll be my follower.
Put him in the armor again and just chuck him at people.
Yeah.
Take this, Randall. You'll have your vengeance. Or something. But Joshua Graham, like, I would have loved the idea of having him as a semi-permanent companion that you could take back to the Mojave and actually have some sort of, you know, ultimate climactic thing with Caesar and or, you know, the second Battle of Hoover Dam. Like, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because he got done dirty. His setup from, you know, his backstory and stuff like that, the Burn Man being a legend and stuff like that, and then kind of being reduced to
being Honest Hearts, the worst part of New Vegas.
Yeah. I was trying to find a nicer way to put it.
Nope. I'll be the cruel one. I'll be extra cool by also saying that I feel like Joshua Graham is like overhyped by the community now, so I just can't get excited by the idea of him as a follower. I feel like he's one of those go-to choices where everyone's like, yeah, he's so cool and awesome, and I'm like, yeah, he's alright, but I've heard too many people talk about how he's the best. No,
the origin of his story is really good.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The origin is so good, but the payoff is not, because it's on his hearts. So, anyway, that's kind of cheating the question, though. Like, even, I don't know if God or Dog would function outside of Dead Money. Like, I think they're kind of designed to be part of that DLC.
Yeah,
but
I mean, the Dead Money followers are designed for Dead Money very specifically.
Yeah, except for Christine. Like, she would have been able to.
I mean, I'm thinking about their follower perks and how useless they'd be.
I don't know, she could cause radios to go fuzzy in the casinos.
Great. Wow. Christine just creates constant slight technical interference.
I feel like she would have something different if she were, back in the Mojave.
You need to alter it a fair bit.
Maybe we should go back to Fallout 3 for a second.
Okay.
One of the tree minders was a former outcast. In fact, any of the outcasts would have been awesome. Not Kasdan, but because Kasdan's the exchange guy. The outcast that greets you when you first arrive at Fort Independence. She's like, "Oh, your blood would clash with the drapes," or whatever. So whatever she says. That is a big part of the Brotherhood situation in Fallout 3. And you get a lot of the Lions Brotherhood side of things because they're an integral part of the story. But the outcasts are not really. So they're just mentioned, but you can, give technology to the outcasts, and due to a kind of annoying long-standing bug with the game, you don't technically ever get invited inside of their HQ. You have to say, "Hey, do you like me enough?" And Kazan's like, "Yeah, we like you enough," and then you have to steal the key off of him or lockpick the door to get in.
And New Vegas really is the greatest Fallout game.
What?
Oh, I've just realised as I said it that I'm mixing up two games now.
Oh.
Because there's the... they are called the Outcasts in New Vegas as well, right?
Who? No. Are you thinking of the Remnants?
Remnants! That's... yeah,
The
I thought they were
Remnants.
called the Enclave Outcasts. That was where my brain went. And as I said it, I was like, wait, no, that's not right. But it turns out I was more wrong than I thought.
Yeah, Brotherhood Outcasts in Fallout 3 is what we're talking about.
Man, very, very minor gripe I want to have here is I find it a little annoying that the Enclave and the Brotherhood are the two most popular factions when they're not different enough in my mind.
Oh.
The Brotherhood's just a bit more military and the Enclave's just a bit more government, but they're both very control, we will be in charge, we're going to purify things. And I just wish the two most popular Fallout factions were a bit more different. But
yeah,
that's my mini complaint there. But carry on.
After thinking about it a little bit, yeah, you do have a point, Sarge. I do think that the Enclave does go a little more hard on genetic purity.
Yeah.
A little harder. The genocide level of harder.
Yeah.
But I do see where you're coming from, I think, because they have, the most advanced technology, keep it to themselves kind of thing.
Yeah. They hit a lot of the same notes, they just go to slightly different extremes on them.
Yeah, that is true. So maybe I should distance myself. Riley from Riley's Rangers.
Oh, you do love her.
I like her a lot. I think she is awesome. In fact, I would love to have a system expanded upon the scouting thing that she has you do once you help them. If they make it back in some form, Riley will ask you to share your map data. Like, you know, once you have discovered locations on your Pip-Boy, you can report back to Riley, and she will give you a lot of caps depending on how many locations you've discovered. I would love to see that like improved upon further by like maybe some sort of intel kind of system. I've been playing a lot of games that have like a reactive map situation, so I think it's stuck in my brain. But like sending like maybe one or two of Riley's Rangers over to a location she's like, I've heard about this, and then meeting them there and having them help you. So it's not really a companion situation per se, but I think something like that would actually be really cool, where you have reinforcements on site.
Okay. If we are going to talk about like not full companions and stuff, I'd also like to say that the Skyrim mercenary system I'd like to see in Fallout games. Because just being able to pay a bit of money for a follower that, to be fair, isn't like super interesting and detailed, but who will just come with you and maybe doesn't have the this character likes this character dislikes this. Just like a pure neutral kind of character who you can hire as like a separate little thing, and then all the more in-depth things, all the more in-depth followers, I think would allow there to be a lot more follower choices without it increasing the workload as much.
Yeah.
Because that way you can still have like a dozen followers that are really in-depth, but the game overall can have 20 or 30 followers.
Yeah. I think Mercurio keeps coming to mind because he is one of the best.
Yeah. I mean, Teldrin Sero is the best follower.
I was gonna say like your husbando Teldrin Sero.
Yep.
Is another one of the best mercenaries you can get, but like they are just mercenaries. Like they don't have much for interesting stuff behind that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think a bit of a problem with Skyrim is 99% of the followers just are not interesting.
Yep. That is a flaw.
Yeah, in like, especially in New Vegas and Fallout 4, I think the followers are genuinely interesting people.
Yes.
But they're a bit limited in number.
Uh-huh.
So I think it'd be nice to also have this as like a extra thing just to throw in to give you more choices if you don't like the personality-based followers.
And I think one of the solutions to actually simplify that too, so in order to have both, would be that like a lot of the things that you would control on a full companion, you wouldn't be able to on a mercenary.
Yeah.
That's how Kenshi does it. Hey, I get to talk about Kenshi.
Oh dear. Well, it's went from a shorter episode of the PIPCAST to one that'll be 5 hours long.
Yeah, so you have recruits, which are people that you pay one lump sum of money, and they will be your follower until you just drop them. And you have like a unmodded, you have a maximum of 30 slots for units, so like you can have a pretty big team if you want to. But you have recruits in Kenshi, but you also have mercenaries. Mercenaries are usually a team of 5-ish that are geared out depending on the faction they're a part of. And you can be like, hey, I need you to guard me for this many days, and they charge you a lump sum. Or you can be like, hey, go guard my outpost, please. And they will run to your nearest outposts and post up there for that much time. Which I think is really cool. But obviously you don't have control over their equipment like you would with your actual recruit. So I think that is actually a pretty cool way to balance it, where you can still have the interesting kind of depth of an actual companion, and also just somebody you need to pay money to like help keep your butt protected.
Yeah.
So,
I'm also wondering how feasible it would be to have your full-fledged companion and also have a mercenary travel along with you.
I think that I was actually kind of thinking about that too. And I was like, maybe that would be cool. How would the ideal mercenary upgrade system work? Would it be like fully automated, or do you think there would need to be some sort of like pay extra to like get them up to your level or something like that?
I mean, I could go real in depth with it. I did do the whole writing a Fallout game thing where I made an entire mercenary faction. So, and Caedo was one of the mercenaries you could hire, which is a little Easter egg in that.
Did I punch things?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I literally named the mercenaries and, created the mercenaries out of people that I knew. I was like, yeah, I'll just do this. Put it in as an Easter egg, basically just for me. Because I don't think any of them know each other anyway. But I kind of like the idea of the mercenaries earning experience maybe passively as well while they're out and about. So if you stick with a mercenary for a long time, they'll level up with you. But maybe you can hire mercenaries who cost more money, who are higher level. But if you hire a low-level one, it costs less, but you can level them up with you. Maybe some sort of system like that. That is getting us into the more technical side of things.
Yeah. Also, man, be really cool if, mercenaries were painfully mortal also.
Oh, yeah.
You just can't heal them. They have their own healing items and or, healing spells, and if they run out, they die, they're just done.
I would like for you to be able to heal them and to give them healing items and stuff, but if you leave them down for, a minute or 30 seconds or whatever, then they're just dead permanently.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's one of the things, man, I want the picking up a downed character system in modern RPGs. I don't know if that's a hot take or anything like that, but they already have the downed yield state that is really annoying in Bethesda games already. It's so annoying to switch to a healing spell or bring up, in New Vegas's case, bring up the radial, I guess, that injects stim packs into your character and stuff like that. There's already been systems made that make that so much more fluid and easier to do, and the picking up your companion system just needs to be a thing. Please. Man, aside from that,
I'll be honest, I've run out of characters, so I'm like, oh, I want them to be a follower, and then I'm more like, who's kind of a gruff military guy with a 5 o'clock shadow, which is apparently my thing for followers.
Yeah, I'm starting to think of like animal companions more so. But I still hate animal AI in the modern.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Fallout
you're a terrible
games,
person.
So I am a terrible person. You should see my recent recordings in Fallout 3. I am the worst kind of person. I'm so bad. I left Dogmeat all by himself outside Vault 101 to hear Amata squealing in fear of all the stuff that happened.
Honestly, considering how much you'd be screaming at him otherwise, that might be the better choice.
That's true. Man, because like a Yaogwai companion would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we got a step close to it with the Fallout 4 expansion, train the animals and capture them in cages.
That's true. Yeah. Wasteland Workshop.
That's the one.
That's
I can never remember which one's which.
It's because I made a video on it. That's why it's burned into my brain.
Yeah, we got close to that with it, and I think with how we said about the mercenaries and stuff, it should be a case of they can die.
Yeah, I feel like that would make a lot more sense for that too, because I went back to my save not long ago, and I have so many freaking dogs and cats. They should probably be temporary if you can have a straight up army of animals. Or maybe just have a limit on it. I don't know. Mounts, man. Mounts would be cool too, I guess, because they already got horses in Skyrim. In Oblivion.
I mean, there have been rideable vehicles within the Fallout franchise, which is kind of like a mount but modern.
Yes.
We just haven't had it in the most modern games. Well, actually, no, we have, because there's been vertibirds.
There has, but those are more like fast travel ish.
Yeah, you
Right.
don't have full control of them.
Yeah, it's very much.
Although,
I think it's just
is
the dragon riding system from
Yeah,
Dragonborn
is-
just modified.
is Fallout Tactics the only one where you get like actual complete control? Because I know Fallout 2, right? You have the Highwayman.
Yeah.
Am I remembering this right? Cool. My memory of the classics
You got
is
it, you got it.
exceptionally bad, but yeah, the Highwayman, you almost get full control of it, but the way that Fallout 1 and 2's overworld works, you are just clicking to go to a place rather than actually driving.
Yeah, and there is practical advantages to it, but you're not using the car on the field. The car is a glorified storage on the field. It's primarily a fast travel speeder upper.
Yeah. Whereas it is Tactics, right, where it's like more of a weapon vehicle thing.
In Tactics, yes, they have field control. You can run over enemies and keep them trapped under the vehicle and just kill them that way. You can perform drive-bys. One of the vehicles is a tank that you can load with shells and shoot at things. Like, they went kind of ham with vehicles in Tactics, and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But because of the engine that it was running in, it was still kind of janky.
It's a good job we're in an engine now with zero jank whatsoever.
Yep, no jank whatsoever, none at all, no complaints. Nope, that's not. I don't. That my name's not Complainogenesis. It's Caedo. Man, talk about vehicles in modern games, though. You don't want a situation like Cyberpunk where all the vehicles suck.
Oh dear. I think I should make the executive decision at this point to say that we've listed all the companions we really want. Seeing as we're now talking about vehicles and Cyberpunk, we've hit that point where it's like, yeah. So I'm gonna ask the commenters and the listeners, hey, what NPC do you think should have been a companion in any of the Fallout games? Literally any of them.
Yeah.
Let us know. And explain yourself. I demand it.
Explain. Yeah.
How
And
dare
we
you
didn't really
make
get
this choice.
into we touched on the Elder Scrolls a little bit, like the mercenaries and stuff like that. But like, is there Elder Scrolls characters too that come to mind? Like, you have a whole plethora of choices.
I feel like the big thing with Elder Scrolls is they just need to update the followers you have to be more interesting, because I feel like New Vegas and Fallout 4 are the only games in Fallout / Elder Scrolls where the followers really have a proper personality and there's stuff to do with them and so on. Every other game is like, here's a lump of flesh that follows me around and swings a weapon.
Yeah. And sometimes they suck at combat. Other times they're really good.
Oh, so good.
Who was it that kept like busting out a garbage bow in one of your playthroughs?
Oh my god, every single person ever, pretty much. So, Skyrim has this thing where your followers will constantly just use a hunting bow. Just all the time. Like, you can equip them with better bows, but it's like, hey, I got you as a melee follower, why are you constantly using a bow? And so many of them do it. In fact, one of the reasons I love Teldrin so much is that he tends not to do it, because he's more of a battle mage class. So he normally summons a flame action arc and then casts fireballs and stuff with a sword out. I
mean, that's probably why I landed on Mercurio too, because he's also a battle mage.
Yeah, he's pure mage. Yeah. Any like warrior focused follower in Skyrim just uses a hunting bow constantly.
Yeah. And like, they need to stop.
Even at close range sometimes it's terrible.
Yep. Yeah, but I thought it was funny that you can equip the vampiric ring to companions and they'll cast life drain, which is pretty great, or life steal. It caused them to stop using the bow for a bit though.
Oh, it's great then. I fully approve.
But yeah, that's the topic. We have our last section where we talk about what we've been doing. Sarge, what have you been up to the last couple of weeks?
Oh god, I'll have to look through the calendar. There's been a lot of stuff. Mostly though, channel-wise, it's been Skyrim and Oblivion as the main two things. I've been doing Skyrim Stolen Items Only and Skyrim Wheel of Randomness on my channel, which are two quite fun challenge runs. The Stolen Items Only has caused me to have a few breakdowns. Things have gone horribly wrong, and then I leveled up 20 times in an hour as well, so it's been all over the place. Oh no, intentionally. I'm now a master thief. I went from not being able to steal or do anything to being maxed out in pickpocket and super high in sneak, which is very useful.
Pickpocket is so busted, dude.
Yeah. And the Wheel of Randomness, I basically spin wheels for what I'm wearing, what is in my hands, and what crafting skill I get to use. And I really hope I get alchemy again soon, because I miss it. Oh, and I've also been streaming some Fallout 76.
Nice. Hey, it's been a while since I played that game.
Yeah, it's been nice to jump back in. I don't think I'm going to do it like every single week. In fact, next week I'm not. I'm streaming Atomic Heart. But it's nice to play it for a bit, especially as there's like some events going on right now which I want to check out. But I won't know about that until later on the day of recording, which is also before the episode comes out. So yeah, my 76 stream is literally after this recording, but before the podcast is released.
Yeah. We we have a sandwiched weekend.
Yeah.
Basically.
I've also come real close to rage quitting a couple of games for different reasons. So
Sarge.
Yeah, Dragon Quest Builders 2 is a very fun building game. I really like the building mechanics, I like the story stuff it's doing. It's pretty linear, which is but I'm still enjoying it. It's nice running into the NPCs and stuff, and it's cool in concept. What's not cool is having a forced stealth section.
Oh, I hate those. You
can't skip it, you can't do anything else, you can't go back because the autosave and save system also kind of sucks. You're just stuck with it. And I'm not sure how to get through it, because some of the stealth bits I'm like, okay, this is sensible, I just do the route around. But then I was like, okay, let's see if I can do another route around, and then it was like, no, there's a cliff, and you're just going to fall off it. So,
that's stupid.
It looks like you basically just have to half sneak, half run through the middle of all the guards on this prison island you're in. And if they catch you, go back to the start.
Yep.
And I hate it. It is
I hate those
so
too.
bad.
So, two games came to mind when you mentioned 4 stealth sections. I am a stealth game fan. Like, if the main thing of the game is stealth, man, I love it. Because it's actually got, ways to get around a lot easier in stealth and tools to use and stuff. But if it's a game that's not designed around stealth, it's complete garbage most of the time.
Oh, yes. I mean, Dragon Quest Builders 2 does not have a sneak button or a crouch button or anything like that.
That's a key identifier that there's no stealth, nothing designed around stealth in that game. They just put it in there just to, like, destroy your time. So, 2 came to mind. More recently, I played through the Crisis Core remake. And I blocked this part out because there is a 4 stealth section.
Oh no.
It's how to get into a warehouse, and you have to stealth around a few Shinra soldiers, and every time you get caught, they actually open up one of the chests to loot. Because not only do you have to sneak around the guards, you have to loot multiple chests if you want to get all the loot in the area. And then get into the building without being seen. So that one's a pain in the butt. Also, Spider-Man on the PS4 or PS5 now, I guess. Yeah, you sneak around as Mary Jane, and you also sneak around as Miles Morales. Basic old, not Spider-Man yet, Miles Morales. And both of those sections were also infuriating. Like,
that sounds quite bad.
Especially playing a game that has like a lot of momentum, and then that momentum comes to a screeching halt. Like, they're just trying to pad out the time of the game. At least it feels like that sometimes to me. Yeah, it's the worst. I relate, Sarge. Sorry to rant on top of your sharing.
That's alright. I will say there's another game I'm very close to rage quitting as well, for slightly different reasons, which is Halo the Master Chief Collection.
Oh no.
So I was like, yeah, let's play through like the original Halo and then go through the other ones. I'm on the original Halo, and I'm doing great. Like, I'm genuinely impressed that on controller, because I'm playing this on the Xbox,
Yep.
on controller, I've got back to a point where I have good aim. Like, I'm just dead shotting people with the sniper whenever I get it. My assault rifle, I'm like getting the burst just right. Like, I'm doing well. And I am only playing on normal difficulty, so it shouldn't be too tough. Oh, what's that? Oh, I've checkpointed back because the game's over. Okay, well, let's go in and shoot. Oh, I'm checkpointed back. Oh, the follower I'm with keeps getting shot in the back.
Oh.
So, the section I'm at is in, like, a Covenant spaceship. And I go through a door, and there's two invisible big enemies with energy swords. I don't know the Halo terminology. Forgive me, Halo fans, please.
Elites.
Probably. Like, I know what a hunter is, I know what a grunt is. Everyone else, I'm always like, maybe it's this?
The work.
Yeah. The hunters, I've absolutely dominated. I was actually surprised how well I did at fighting them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that felt really good. What doesn't feel good is how Colonel Reeves, or whatever his name is, or Commander... Buttface, can I say Buttface on the podcast?
Sure.
Yeah, Commander Buttface will run into this room and then the invisible enemies will charge at him. So I found, after dying about 5 or 6 times, that what I could do is if I timed it just right and got lucky with the enemy positioning, is that I could walk up behind one of them, like, and if you gun bash an enemy from behind, they insta-die, get rid of that one. Then if I could perfectly throw a plasma grenade onto the invisible enemy, they'd blow up and die before they could kill him.
Right.
That obviously took a few attempts, because the timing had to be perfect for both of those things, and I had to throw a grenade directly onto an invisible person.
Yeah.
Not the easiest thing.
Nope.
And then after that, it spawned enemies behind the commander and shot him in the back.
What the heck?
Yep. It was like, oh, now we'll go through to the next place. And I was like, yep, I'll go through, I'll shoot a few enemies. And then the game just ended because it was like, yep, he got shot.
That sounds horrible.
So, yeah, it is. It's so horrible. I've been stuck on this one section for about as long as I've played the rest of the game. Because he just keeps dying, and I think I'm one death away from uninstalling. Because it's like the game's over 100 gigs. There's so many other games I could install on my Xbox for that.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and for it to just constantly be like, no, your follower was dumb, and we spawned people behind him too, so you go back to a checkpoint. And the checkpoint as well is from before fighting the two invisible people. So I have to do that thing all over again, which takes a lot of time and luck. It's real bad. It's real bad. But I have played one good game, which is Total War Warhammer 3, which I geeked about a lot earlier, but I'm having fun with it while I'm on the computer.
Good.
But hopefully I'll find another Xbox game to enjoy soon. I do need to play through the Mass Effect Legendary Trilogy, which I've got installed.
Yeah, you do.
It's probably going to be the one I go for. I'll see if I can handle the third-personness of it.
Who's going to be your waifu / husbando?
None of them.
What?
Yeah.
Sarge.
What?
You need to be a caring commander. You need to fall for one of your crewmates.
Whoa. I'm gonna be a responsible and ethically sound commander who doesn't use their position of power to sleep with their employees. Thank you very much.
That's not what I said.
Well, that's what I heard. Hey, my Commander Shepard's gonna be a good guy besides all the time I decide to go with renegade options. I didn't ask you to Captain
Kirk it, okay? That's not what I'm asking you to do.
I'm not interested in romance in video games, to be honest, so...
Okay.
Yeah. That's a large part of why BioWare RPGs haven't appealed to me. Like, I don't like third person, I don't care for romance.
Just bro around with Garrus, then. Because Garrus is great.
I'm fine with that. But anyway, what you been playing, Caedo?
Oh! Well, speaking of dating companions, I haven't gotten to that part yet, but it is possible, I think, in Midnight Suns. I have been playing this on the free weekend that's been on Steam for Midnight Suns. A surprisingly early free weekend for this game, but like they got to get it more attention, so it does make sense. It's like during the 2K sale thing. Anyway, Midnight Suns. You're a bunch of Marvel characters saving Earth from the Queen of Demons or whatever. And part of the game is a strategy layer. This is by the developers of XCOM, so it's got the XCOM DNA in it. But it's got a card-based combat system that is actually quite a lot of fun. But aside from that, that's like half of the game. The other half of the game is going back to base and hanging out with your super pals. And I dig it. I like it. As long as you approach the game in that way, then you're probably going to have a good time. This is another one of the Marvel games where I am confident in saying that it is actually one of the good ones. There has been a handful of actually good Marvel games coming out in the last few years. This one, Guardians of the Galaxy, which is severely underrated still, and the Spider-Man games. Like they've all been pretty decent, if not really good. So if you like tactical kind of turn-based things, but with superheroes and a cool little, upgradey card-based system, and you like, the DNA of XCOM is all over this game. So if you liked XCOM, you might like this too. Give it a shot. It seems like the spin-off, like XCOM Chimera Squad, is kind of what they were trying to do, and managed to execute a lot better in Midnight Suns. And also Midnight Suns is a lot less janky than Chimera Squad, because Chimera Squad was not just a spin-off, but a really janky one. And I never got through it because of its jank. So, yeah, Midnight Suns. I've been having fun with it. Also, been beating the crap out of Dying Light 2, because there has been some events coming up. I found out that how they release cosmetic stuff for Dying Light 2 is actually pretty ingenious. If you take part in an event that gives you these cosmetic items along with a like a weapon and a paraglider skin and a body skin and stuff like that, take part in the event. Like they had the dropkick weekend last weekend, where you got to dropkick 200 enemies. That's the requirement. And then there's a global community requirement that always gets like well over the requirement because people are always playing it. But the dropkick event has like it's got like hyper mode added to it as well, or whatever you want to call it, so that the enemies like fly in half and fly like across the world when you dropkick them. It's really hilarious. So I finished that event, and then after it, like, you go to the website, you're like, okay, I want to claim my rewards and stuff like that. After the claiming period is over, however, then those items become DLC. So if you play the game and you unlock these normally, then you get them for free. If you wait and miss the event, then they become DLC shortly afterwards. Okay. I think that is actually pretty cool, and it's cosmetic primarily stuff too. Also, well, except for the weapon unlocks, but it seems like the weapon unlocks are like pretty underpowered compared to the stuff you can actually get in the game, which is good. I actually kind of like that is the case. But I kind of dig that system a little bit. If there's a way you're gonna like add extra monetization stuff to your game, I think the option to earn it beforehand is great.
Yeah.
Not just a immediate pay to get and then make it available later, kind of like 76 does. So I like the reverse of what 76 is doing, basically. Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. But yeah, Dying Light 2, I played through one of the endings that I had never gotten to before, because like 80% of the characters are unlikable in that game. I talked about characters being unlikable, And like that's one of Dying Light 2's biggest flaws is like it takes you a while to find characters that are actually enjoyable to be around. But the gameplay is solid. And it's a lot of fun to play with friends as long as the game is functioning, because it still has some performance issues off and on still. But I've been enjoying my time with it again. And this weekend I think I'm gonna play some more Dying Light 2 with my pals. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Good time. And finally, I finally got out of my slump and recorded a couple hour session of Fallout 3, the playthrough, the special roulette playthrough that I've been doing. And constantly forgetting to re-roll my attributes until much later, and I hope that it doesn't bleed over into another episode, because otherwise people are going to comment about it all the time. But I got to Paradise Falls. All right, sorry, I got to Little Lamplight, and then I was like, now we've got Little Lamplight, let's go to Paradise Falls, because I know what I have to do. I'm not going to have, the Child at Heart perk or whatever to get into the town, like, right then. So I went to Paradise Falls, and then I managed to free Squirrel and Sammy, and managed to succeed in a 10% speech check. Yay. To leave Penny behind. because she developed a bond with one of the other slaves there. And I was like, no, leave her behind. But then the really funny part was when I went back to the Lamplight, Joseph, who's her brother, was like, I'm glad you saved Penny. And I'm like, no, I didn't. So that was a fun little funny bug issue thing. Or like maybe the game wasn't expecting me to be that heartless. But yeah. Also, I have no idea how to get rid of 40 in a sneaky way without alerting the whole camp. I still have not figured out how to do that. Like all the other slavers were mad at me when I planted a grenade in 40's pocket and then snuck away.
Man, I can't imagine why they'd be angry about that.
I know, but like the quest specifically says like 40 is near the slave pens and he needs to be taken care of before we can sneak out. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go kill him or convince him to leave. I don't know how to convince him or kill him without alerting everybody else. I have no idea how to do it. Maybe I'll look it up like right after this or forget about it. But I went to kill 40, and then I actually just used the terminal method to, because my science is ridiculously high. I got lucky with rolling science a couple of times. Okay. So I was able to eat some mentats and then hack into the terminal without stealing the password or whatever. So the rest of that went off without a hitch. But I had to use 2 stealth boys to get out. Anyway. You may see some of it on the B-roll. I don't know.
Quite possibly.
I'm gonna be doing that a lot. Hey, one more thing before we go. For those of you who are faithful listeners, we have a surprise for you in 2 weeks. As far as I know,
I wonder what it is.
We're still having Jordan Breeding, not a real doctor, join us on the PIPCAST 3000 because he became a free agent. He's no longer working for Cracked. If you're familiar with Cracked and their videos, Your Brain on Cracked, and the all of this movie franchise discussion thing.
Long story made short.
Whatever.
I think that's like the actual name, but I think they've also changed the name.
They changed the thumbnails on them too, I think. But
yeah,
it's gonna be really cool to have Jordan Breeding on because he is a bit of a Bethesda gamer nerd. And I think I'd heard a quote from him on one of his videos. But yeah, when he said he was a free agent on his personal channel, I was like, hey, this is a bit of a stretch, but you want to be on my gaming podcast? He's like, yeah. So
I genuinely think you might have like a 100% record on asking people to come on the podcast and them coming on, and I might have a 0% record.
I guess so, man. Like, maybe I'm just rolling nat 20s the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
To be fair, I've only asked like a couple of people to come on, and it just hasn't worked out. But like, I realised this the other day that like percentage-wise, you're doing incredible on the getting guests thing.
Well, thank you.
I've just not managed it a couple of times.
I don't know. I think it is more along the lines of luck, but also I have this thing where I'm inviting people I want to have on more so than people I probably should have on.
Yeah. Whereas I'm inviting people I hate. Just like, God, you idiot. Do you want to come on this? Oh, I hate you. And they say no for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, man. Dang it. Want to start beef on a voice call? Man, that's how I want to spend my weekend.
Yeah.
But okay, maybe we'll have some fun, interesting conversations with Jordan. His self-appointed task was to play some Fallout 3 before we start. So we're probably gonna have a Fallout 3 involved kind of topic in 2 weeks. So yeah, look forward to that. If you're familiar with Jordan Breeding, if you're not, I don't know. He's a really funny guy. He's very entertaining and charming, and I think you'll probably enjoy hearing his voice on the podcast too. So look forward to that. Hope to see you in 2 weeks on another PIPCAST 3000 every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm Caedo Genesis. This is Bad Company Sarge. Ooh, I should do a sign out thing more often. Thank you to Wasteland Legends, Rose, and Sven. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.